We are talking about isosceles and equilateral triangles, and we want to use the properties of isosceles and equilateral triangles to calculate missing angles and missing values. So in the questions 1 through 10, find the value of x. So here it shows that we have an isosceles triangle. We know that because if two sides are congruent, then we know that the base angles are also congruent. And the base angles are the sides opposite. So if angle Q is equal to 2x, angle R is also equal to 2x. So now we have measurements of all the angles, and now we can use the triangle sum theorem that says if we add all the angles together, that is equal to 180 degrees. So we can say 180 degrees is equal to the measure of angle P plus the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle R. And we're going to just add these all together. Now we can substitute the values in that we know. We're still going to be adding these. So measure of angle P is 40 degrees. Measure of angle Q is 2x. And measure of angle R is also 2x. And now we can work to combine like terms. So 180 is equal to 40. 2x and 2x, that's equal to 4x. We can subtract 40 from both sides of the equal sign. And we get 140 is equal to 4x. And then we can divide by 4. And then we get x is equal to 114. 140 divided by 4 is 35. So x is equal to 35. Next example we have is 2. And here again, we have two congruent base angles. So if the base angles are congruent, we know that the sides opposite are also congruent. So in this case, we don't really need to know this measurement to find out what the x value is. What we can do now is we can just set these two equal to each other. So we can say 2x plus 4 is equal to 3x minus 10. Because we know that they're congruent because it's an isosceles triangle. We can add 10 to both sides of the equal sign. And we get 2x plus 14 is equal to 3x. We can subtract 2x. And we get 14 is equal to x. So that's our solution for that one. Now we're looking at example 3. And it says, for isosceles triangle PQT with vertex of Q, find the measure of angle T, and then it gives us some more information. So it tells us that it's an isosceles triangle. So, and then it says sketch the image. So we want to make the sides equal. So I'll go 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. So I know that the sides are equal. And we'll put that measurement across the bottom. And then the other piece of information they gave us is Q is the vertex angle. So we got Q, and then T and P are the other two angles. So we have T, and then we have P. And now I want to substitute in the values that we're given. So we're given the measure of angle P is 3x. And we're given the measure of angle Q is 2x minus 12. Now, because this is isosceles triangle, we know that the base angles are congruent. So if this base angle is 3x, then this base angle also has to be 3x. And now we can use our triangle sum theorem, and it says 180 degrees is equal to all of the angles added together. So we have the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle P plus the measure of angle T. And now we can substitute in those values and see what we get. So 180 degrees is equal to 2x minus 12 plus measure of angle P is 3x, and measure of angle T is also 3x. And now we can combine like terms. So we get 180 degrees. If we add all the x's, we get 2x and 3x and 3x. We add those up, we get 8x minus 12. Add 12 to both sides of the equal sign. And we get 192 is equal to 8x. And then we can divide both sides by 8. And then we get 24 is equal to x. Two more examples that we'll work on. We don't have any direction here, but we see some marks. And the marks show that angle L is congruent to angle M is congruent to angle K. So if they're all congruent, then this has to be 3x, and this has to be 3x as well. Again, we can use the triangle sum theorem, where we add all the angles together. So 180 degrees is equal to all of the angles added together. So we have measure of angle L plus measure of angle M plus measure of angle K. And then we can substitute in the values that we have. So 180 degrees, we substitute all of these values in. So they're all 3x. And then we can combine like terms. They're all x values. So we get 180 is equal to 9x. And then we can divide both sides by 9. And then we get 20 is equal to x. Here again, we have another equilateral triangle because all the sides are marked as congruent. So if all the sides are marked as congruent, then we know that all the angles are also congruent. So we have F, angle E, and angle D are all congruent. So if angle F is 6x, angle D is 6x, and angle E is also 6x. So we can do the same thing that we did before, triangle sum theorem. So 180 degrees is equal to all of the angles added together. So measure of angle E plus the measure of angle D plus the measure of angle F. And we can substitute in those values that we know. So 180 degrees is equal to all of the angles added together. And measure of angle E is 6x. Measure of angle D is 6x. And the measure of angle F is 6x. Now we can combine like terms. They're all x's. So we get 180 degrees is equal to 18x. Divide everything by 18. And then we get 10 is equal to x.